Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Wednesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is May 29th, 2019. And now the News at Noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, sheriff's deputies found a man dead in the La Plata County Jail on Sunday, prompting an investigation by the Durango Police Department, said the county coroner said. A 21-year-old inmate died by self-asphyxiation around 4:30 p.m. Sunday, said La Plata County Coroner Jen Smith. The man's name had not been publicly released as of Monday afternoon. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office declined to comment, citing the active investigation. DPD investigator Sergeant Bobby Taylor did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Reported in the Durango Herald, a Durango woman accused by law enforcement of shooting at a man with the intent to kill him has been sentenced to 90 days in jail and 3 years of probation after entering a plea agreement with the 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office. Brandy Carl, age 28, received credit for time served, which means she has already served 90 days and will not have to report back to jail. According to court documents, Carl pointed a handgun at Brian Picard and shot a bullet inches from his face. Law enforcement accused Carl of attempted second-degree murder, felony menacing, and complicity related to an incident earlier this year at the Iron Horse Inn that left one man stabbed and another man beaten. Carl was one of 3 suspects arrested. The other 2 were Ian Taylor and Christopher Lewis. Taylor and Lewis were accused of assaulting Picard in an apartment at the Iron Horse Inn, 5800 Main Avenue. Picard went to the apartment to obtain marijuana, which Carl said would be there if he wanted it, according to police. When Picard arrived, Taylor threatened him, hit him with Picard's makeshift cane, and punched him as he lay on the ground in the fetal position, police said. Lewis joined Taylor in hitting Picard, according to police. Picard stabbed Taylor in the leg and once on his foot before escaping the apartment with an acquaintance, police said. As Picard was running out the door, Carl fired a bullet at Picard through a window, shattering glass in front of his face. Prosecutors charged Carl with 5 crimes, including attempted second-degree murder. She pleaded guilty to 1 charge of felony menacing. All other charges were dismissed. Carl faced anywhere from 1 to 3 years in prison for felony menacing, according to the plea agreement. Her deal with the district attorney's office stipulated a probation sentence. She's also been ordered to pay $2,303.50 to the court. Lewis pleaded guilty to assault April 5th, a conviction that could result in probation or 2 years in jail. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for July 10th. Taylor pleaded not guilty April 4th to felony assault and menacing charges and is scheduled for a 3-day jury trial to begin August 19th.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Bayfield man fatally shot a family's Great Dane with an air-powered pellet gun last week as 2 young girls played nearby, law enforcement said. Bayfield Marshal Joseph McIntyre cited Wesley Zufelt, age 77, last week with misdemeanor animal cruelty after an investigation revealed he fired the pellet that hit his neighbor's 5-year-old dog, Bailey, and nicked her aorta. Zufelt shot the dog as she ran loose from his yard to his neighbor's yard, where the 2 4-year-old girls were playing, McIntyre said. The dog was in Zufelt's yard when she was shot, but Zufelt pointed the gun toward a road and the front yard where the girls were playing. Had he missed, the shot could have traveled across the road. He was trying to scare the dog, McIntyre said. Efforts to reach Zufelt for comment were unsuccessful Thursday and Friday.
From the Journal, after a 3rd review by Montezuma County officials, a telecommunication tower received final approval Tuesday for a location south of Cortez. AT&T will build a 100-foot tall tower on private land off County Road 24.3 in a commercial industrial area that also includes residences. The County Planning and Zoning Board recommended commissioner approval for the project because it complied with the land use code. On 2nd review earlier this month, county commissioners asked AT&T to consider a different location away from the populated area, such as is the landfill. But after listening to an engineer's technical reasoning for the Road 24.3 location, the commissioners conceded and approved the project. The tower will improve wireless communications in the area, AT&T officials said, and support communications for first responders. Radio engineer Steve Kennedy said the tower's location is based on improving capacity for wireless customers in that area. He said the current wireless service infrastructure is maxing out because of an increase in user demand. Quote, southwest of Cortez, the amount of users using the system is exceeding what the site can handle, he said. Demand will now be offloaded onto the new tower, expanding capacity and service. He compared it to devices slowing down during Thanksgiving dinner when all guests are trying to access Wi-Fi off a limited home system. The landfill site would not be technically practical, he said, because of its distance from the populated area with wireless demand. Signal strength decreases over distance, requiring more and more power from wireless devices and the transmitter. The project has approval from the Federal Communications Commission and the Federal Aviation Administration. Some neighbors have objected to the location, claiming the structure would hurt property values, and they had concerns about potential health impacts from radio frequency radiation. The tower's location in the landing pattern for the nearby Cortez Municipal Airport was also a concern, but it was approved by the FAA. The FAA required it to be lowered from 150 feet to 100 feet and that no warning light be attached so it does not conflict with nearby runway lights. The metal structure affixed with telecommunication equipment will be located near 5 businesses, and homes are in the general area as well. It meets the 100-foot setback from structures requirement.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo from CDOT. A crew Sunday night blasted one of 2 boulders that shut down Colorado Highway 145 north of Dolores since Friday and built a temporary road to allow traffic through. Trucks hauled away the rubble beginning Sunday, and the bypass road opened Monday afternoon. The boulders closed both lanes of traffic at mile marker 21, about 10 miles north of Dolores, about 4 p.m. Friday. Ray Seeley and Don Whaley of Clifton were driving southbound when struck by the rock slide. When the dust settled, they had stayed on the road and were about 20 feet from a house-sized boulder that landed in the middle of the roadway. People behind the truck stopped on the other side of the downed power pole and rushed to check on them. The couple were uninjured, but the truck had been pummeled by rocks, including 2 cave-ins on the windshield. The couple were traveling to the Ute Mountain Casino for some gambling. The luck of the draw was not lost on them. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
So the weather has been a bit mixed of recent. Spring has certainly been struggling with our recent rain and snow mixes, but it is spring until June 21st, the calendar says, though we have a bit more moisture possible for the next 24 hours or so. Today we still have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Partly sunny with a high near 60 degrees, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then tonight mostly clear with a low around 39. Northwest winds remain at 5 to 10 miles an hour, and lingering into Thursday there's a 10% chance of showers and afternoon thunderstorms, mostly sunny though, with a high near 66. East-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. And Thursday night, a 20% chance of showers before midnight, partly cloudy with a low around 41. We finally start to warm up a bit by Friday, sunny with a high near 71, with light breezes. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 46, and a nice weekend ahead. Saturday, sunny with a high near 76 degrees. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 47. Sunday, sunny with a high near 76, and Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 47 degrees, and even warmer for Monday, sunny with a high near 78. Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 47 degrees. And now back to the news.
From the Cortez Journal, 3 boats carrying invasive mussels were found trying to get into Navajo Lake in the past month, according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Microscopic zebra and quagga mussels can quickly infest a waterway, clog reservoir infrastructure, and endanger other aquatic life. While not in Colorado, mussels can be found in water bodies across the country, including Lake Powell. In recent years, motorized boats have become significant transmitters of the invasive species, forcing CPW to embark on an extensive and expensive inspection process. It was during these inspections at Navajo State Park that the 3 boats were found. CPW spokesman Joe Lewandowski said one was a pontoon boat, the other 2 were houseboats. Statewide, 8 boats have been found this year trying to get into Colorado lakes while infested with the mussels. Two of the boats had been purchased recently by Colorado residents in Arizona and had been on mussel-infested lakes. The owners told CPW the boats had been decontaminated in Arizona, but mussels were still found in cracks, crevices, and in the engines of the boats. Anyone unsure if a boat is contaminated should contact CPW to start up an inspection. Boat owners who bring boats into the state that are contaminated and don't notify CPW face up to a $1,000 fine.
Reported by the Journal, photo Montezuma County Sheriff's Office. A 10-day whitewater release from McPhee Dam into the lower Dolores River will end this week, but another release may come in mid-June, that according to reservoir managers. The pause in the spill is a response to lower than predicted inflows at McPhee Reservoir because of cold weather. The initial release was done to accommodate boaters during the Memorial Day weekend. Based on current inflow forecasts, there is a 70% chance of an additional release for whitewater boating, according to the Dolores Water Conservancy District. An estimated time for the second release is between June 9th and June 16th, though that release is subject to updated forecasts and has not been confirmed. There is still significant snowpack in the mountains. Quote, when we get into some more predictable sunny weather and river inflows increase, which usually happens in June, we should be able to continue spilling any excess water, stated Eric Sprague, an engineer technician with the Water District. The reservoir needs 240,000 acre-feet of water to fill, and by May 22nd, it had received 190,000 acre-feet. An estimated 160,000 to 190,000 acre-feet of snowmelt remains in the high mountains, but it is difficult to predict when and how much of it will reach McPhee. The weather forecast for Dolores shows 10 days of temperatures in the mid-70s beginning on June 1st. The Dolores Water Conservancy District's top priority is to fill McPhee, and runoff forecasts show the Dolores Basin snowpack, which reached 144% of normal this winter, is more than enough to fill it. Excess supply is then carefully managed for boating and fish habitat below the dam.
From the Cortez Journal, Japan has lifted restrictions on U.S. beef imports, ending a partial embargo stemming from the 2003 mad cow disease outbreak, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced earlier this month. American cattle over the age of 30 months had been banned from Japanese markets under the trade restrictions, while Japan still imposes a tariff on American beef imports. The age limit has been lifted. Anytime we can open up a foreign market and get better access, that's very helpful, said Tom Compton, a cattle rancher in Breen who used to serve as president of the Colorado Cattlemen's Association. Compton generally sells his cattle to a feedlot or packing plant, which prepares them to be sold to consumers in domestic or foreign markets. He does not plan to sell cattle directly to Japanese markets, but said he may benefit from the agreement. With the higher demand, he said the beef we produce is going to be worth more money. Colorado exported $372 million in beef and veal in 2017, making it one of the state's top agricultural exports, according to the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative.
From the Journal and AP, it's shaping up to be a deadly year for livestock in the American Southwest as the number of cows and calves killed by Mexican gray wolves has skyrocketed, aggravating an already tenuous relationship between U.S. wildlife managers, environmentalists, and rural residents. Federal reports show the endangered wolves have been blamed for the deaths of 88 domestic animals in New Mexico and Arizona in the first 4 months of the year. That's on pace to surpass the nearly 100 livestock kills confirmed in all of 2018 and significantly more than has been recorded in the first quarter of any year since the predators were reintroduced in 1998. More Mexican wolves are in the wild now than at any time since they were nearly exterminated decades ago. A subspecies of the western gray wolf, Mexican wolves have faced a difficult road to recovery that has been complicated by politics and conflicts with livestock. Ketron County Manager Bill Green said his constituents have seen calf birth rates drop by 1/3 or more, and they feel there's nowhere to turn because federal federal officials say they have a responsibility under the Federal Endangered Species Act to restore the wolves. Some ranchers and rural residents expect things to get worse as the wolf population grows. There are at least 131 of the predators in the mountain ranges spanning southwestern New Mexico and the southeastern Arizona. On the local front, it's been a battle to keep the impact as small as possible, Green said. We have several ranchers in the areas next to wilderness that are already being run out of business. Wolves were found to be responsible for killing more than 36 cows and calves in April alone. That was almost double the previous month. While ranchers see the reintroduction program as a threat to a livelihood already complicated by drought and rising costs, environmentalists contend more can be done to discourage wolves from targeting livestock. The environmental group Defenders of Wildlife has been working with some ranchers in the Southwest. Some ideas are simple, from using range riders to keep a close eye on herds or quickly disposing of cattle carcasses to keep from attracting wolves. Brady McGee, who heads the Mexican Wolf Recovery Program for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, said wolves often can run into trouble because the grazing and calving seasons are year-round in the Southwest. Some money is allocated annually for reimbursing livestock losses, but federal officials acknowledge they need more to provide incentives for the livestock industry to take more precautions to protect herds. Biologists also decide which captive bred pups are matched with wild packs as part of fostering efforts to boost the population. Brian Bird with Defenders of Wildlife says wolves are as much a social and cultural issue for ranchers and rural residents as they are a scientific challenge. Quote, "We believe that social change can only come from inside the community," Bird said. "It doesn't come from the federal government or the advocates pushing changes on these people. It has to happen from within, and it has to happen organically." On an editorial note, you might want to look into the UN Agenda 2030 project for intentional wilding of rural regions.
From the Durango Herald, pro football players may be more likely to die from degenerative brain diseases and heart problems than baseball players, but the reasons are unclear. A new study suggests the differences may seem obvious. Repeated head blows have been linked with a wasting brain disease in football players. Also, girth can contribute to heart problems, and football players are generally bigger and heavier than baseball players. But the researchers emphasize that they lacked information on family history, genetics, and lifestyle that all affect risks for specific diseases and death. Some studies have suggested NFL players may live longer than the general population, but the researchers said comparing athletes from two elite sports provides a better perspective on risks that may be inherent to football or baseball. They focused on 6,100 athletes born before 1965 who competed for at least 5 seasons in the NFL or Major League Baseball, and who died between 1979 through 2013. Among NFL players, there were 517 deaths at an average rate of 60. At an average age of 60, that compares with 431 deaths at age 67 on average among baseball players. They said more studies are needed to determine reasons for the differences they found. Their study was published Friday in the JMA Network Open.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. June 1st, this Saturday at 9 a.m., there will be a Pick and Hoe Entrepreneur Bake Sale in front of the Dove Creek Sinclair. Susan C. will be running the fundraiser, and donated baked goods are welcome and encouraged to be dropped off at the table. Tickets for the Pampered Chef Basket Chance Opportunity will also be available, as will tickets for Linda C.'s art pieces that will be on display there as well. Then Sunday, June 2nd, an ATV side-by poker river run will be held to raise money for the Pick and Hoe by another entrepreneur. $25 hands, $15 to the fundraiser, and $10 to the pot. First card draw will start at the old shooting range at 11 a.m. No food supplied, so bring your own drinks and food. They'll be riding down the river road and back with stops for the rest of the draws along the way. And then save the last Saturday in June, June 29th, for the State Line's Pick and Hoe Poker Run, starting at Dove Creek Sinclair and ending at the State Line Bar and Grill. Come enjoy a beautiful ride through Dolores, Rico, Telluride, Norwood, and up Slick Rock. Though mostly motorcycles, all driving is on main roads and everyone is welcome. is $25 per hand with no limit. Pre-registration can be filled out at the Dove Creek Sinclair or State Line Bar and Grill. Camping spots are still available at the State Line. Call to reserve for $25 a night, and there will be the free shuttle from Dove Creek or Monticello. Leaving from the Dove Creek Sinclair at 9 a.m. on that Saturday, coffee and donuts will be supplied by the Sinclair, and lunch sandwiches will be included during the ride. Then at the State Line finish line, Dave Mensch will be playing live music starting at 5 p.m. Food and drink specials will be all day at the State Line, and the proceeds will benefit the Dove Creek Pick and Hoe celebrations. You can call the State Line at 970-677-2649 for more information or details. And all of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your information or event, please contact us by email at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area, and of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.